I've got a healthy and tasty dessert for you today. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Katrina. Welcome to the Organixx channel, where together we create healthy and delicious recipes in the kitchen. Today we're going to be making an almond cake with warm apple topping. Let's begin by adding 4 large egg yolks to a large mixing bowl, preferably using eggs that are local, free range, and organic. To it, let's add the zest from 1 organic lemon, which is about 2 tablespoons worth. Please be sure to use an organic lemon here just to avoid all of the pesticides and insecticides. And lemon zest is bursting with vitamin C. Next, let's add 1/4 cup of LAKANTO, which is a low glycemic sweetener. It consists of monk fruit extract and erythritol. You're always welcome to use your preferred sweetener. Just know that you may need to adjust the time in baking. This is 1/2 cup, so I'm going to put in about half here. Whisk together your ingredients. In a separate mixing bowl, let's add in 1½ cups of finely ground almond flour, which is a wonderful gluten-free flour that's high in protein, and it's made out of, you guessed it, almonds. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which is going to be our leavening agent. Last, let's add a little bit of spice. I have 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg and 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Whisk together your dry ingredients. Add your dry ingredients to your egg yolk mixture and stir until well combined. Almond flour can tend to be really heavy in baking, so in a separate bowl with a hand mixer, beat the egg whites for about 1 minute. Then let's add 1/8 teaspoon of either pink Himalayan or sea salt and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Continue to beat the egg whites until they thicken. Then slowly add in the remaining 1/4 cup of LAKANTO and continue beating until soft peaks form. Gently fold the beaten egg whites into the almond flour mixture, 1/2 at a time. In a 9-inch cake pan, line the bottom with some parchment paper, and then taking some coconut oil, grease the bottom and the sides really well. Just going to use my fingers here. Pour in your cake batter. Bake your cake in a 350-degree preheated oven for about 30 minutes until it's completely cooked through, and you'll know that when you insert a toothpick right in the middle and it comes out clean, and then you're going to want to let it cool completely. While your cake is cooling, let's make up a delicious apple topping. Begin by taking 1/4 cup of filtered water, and to it we're going to add 2 teaspoons of tapioca flour, which is a wonderful thickener that's gluten-free. This next ingredient is optional. I'm going to add in 2 scoops of our clean-sourced collagen powder, which is wonderful for your joints and your skin and your digestion. Next, let's add 2 tablespoons of LAKANTO or your preferred sweetener, and it really depends on what type of apple you're using for this topping as to how much sweetener you want to add. So if you're using a tartar apple, you may want to add in a little bit more sweetener, just depending on how sweet you want your topping to be. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Last, let's add 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg and 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Whisk together and then set aside. Next, in your skillet, let's melt 2 tablespoons of coconut oil over medium heat. Next, let's add in 2 sliced up apples, and you can actually leave the peel on if you'd like to add in more nutrients. Cook up your apples, stirring constantly until they have softened up a bit, about 6 minutes. Add in your water mixture and cook for about 2 additional minutes, stirring occasionally until your apples are your desired tenderness and the sauce is thickened. Serve up your warm apple topping over your almond cake. Let's give this almond cake a try. That's got a wonderful flavor. I love serving the warm apples over top. It really adds another dimension to the cake. And I may have gone overboard on the nutmeg a little bit. You might want to scale back just a little bit to maybe 1/4 teaspoon in the apples. And also you can chop up the apples into smaller pieces if that makes it easier to eat. You can cook them as long as you want to if you want them really soft, or if you like them a little bit crunchy like I do, then don't cook them as long. I hope you give this one a try. This is a really fun dessert to make. I'm so glad you joined me today. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next week in the kitchen. Take care. Bye-bye.